We changed the landing page around. We changed some of the pricing. We cut out the costs that weren't making us any money. And the result, we were able to turn 25 cents into $1.25, kind of like all day long, right? So back to our focus on ROI. My ROI in that campaign was 400%. So as you can imagine, that was a pretty good deal, right? I could turn 25 cents into $1.25 all day long and be very, very happy. So that's the kind of things that you guys want to search for. So someone says to me, you know, what's your expected ROI? Well, it's just, I don't have an expected ROI. Because again, if I could drive higher volume at lower percentages, I would. All I care about at the end of the day is how big that check is on the other side, okay? How I got there is less relevant. There's some relevant factors in terms of like if you're spending a lot of money doing it, you know, there's some risk involved, but generally put, I want to effectuate a high ROI as possible. And so, I mean, I can tell you that this type of thing goes on underneath most of your noses all day, every day, 24/7, 365 days a year. I'm giving you one example. I gave you an example of a diet offer. This guy is minting money. This is a job offer. But look, I mean, if you go back to the earlier slides, which I showed you that big old funky round thing of all the verticals, this is going on all day long, every single day in massive verticals. So diet, biz op, dating, you know, I mean, it goes round and round and round. So, you know, again, I mean, and that's the advertiser side of it. The crazy thing about it is to go back to the 9 pieces to buy media, and this is just one. I was buying on Bing alone. So I was buying in, you know, if like the first box was search, right? I'm buying a little thing of Bing here, right? And I could do 8 to 10 grand a day in this stuff. So, so these are big markets, and that's why I say don't get caught up in buying everything and, you know, jumping around. Just do one thing and just try to do it better than most people do it, and I think you'll be okay. All right? Okay, so now we're going to move to what are the variables. So in all this stuff, right, what we want to understand in buying media is what are the areas that we can affect positively to make that desired ROI. And the good news about it is if you look at this stuff this way, and you organize your spreadsheets or whatever, you know, and I'll put up some spreadsheets for you guys in the Media Mentors section that I promised I'd give you guys. But I'll give you some example spreadsheets that you can create to start to measure this stuff. But basically, you want to isolate each of these variables so that you can figure out what's working and what's not working. Again, probably the best thing you can do to start is lose some money because it makes you angry. Like, I don't want to lose 50 bucks. But it creates that sense of drive. Like I told you twice, we bet our entire company on buying a certain amount of media, and we were losing 10K a day. And you know, like I had a 3-month-old daughter, and like, you know, I had some money, but I didn't want to lose 10K a day. So it creates in you this desire to make things work. So don't lose 10K a day, but nonetheless, you have to organize your media buying in a very systematic approach. So if you're an affiliate doing it, you own your own product and you're buying on Facebook, make sure that you put in place all the things necessary for you to measure this stuff. So here are the variables. It's fairly straightforward. Where are you buying it? Okay, so variable 1 might be that you're buying it on AOL Ad Sonar. Okay, you know where that is. Okay, how much are you paying? Right. In this example, I'm saying I'm paying 25 cents per click. Targeting. What targeting are you doing? Right. So if you're targeting, say, males that live in the U.S. that are over 30, okay, those are 3 elements of targeting that you should measure and make sure that you know that. And in this example, I'm saying that you're buying on a certain site, it's ESPN, and I'm buying the term Chicago Bears, okay? I've done this many, many times in this vertical. So now you have a creative. That's actually not a creative, it's a very bad creative, but, here's my creative. You can't really see it. But you come up with a piece of creative, right? And then you have an offer behind it, right? So what you want to do is you want to isolate each of these things. So when you put your first $100 down, okay, and now you lose money, say you lose 50, I want to understand where was that campaign failing. So was it failing on because it was the wrong network to buy on, because there weren't golf offers related to that site? Was it failing? This is where I think I was going to show you Drew's site. I think I was going to offer somebody some money if I couldn't find our golf example. So let's see if we can find Drew here on ESPN. And I think he was buying, let's see, we're like football here in the States. Okay, so here's an example again of a branded offer This is an affiliate offer for sure. This is a mortgage offer. I'm not sure if it's affiliate related, but let's see if we can find Drew's offer here. No, we might not do it this time. But nonetheless, when you do a media buy, you want to understand all the elements that make something either work or don't work. So if you have campaigns, this is something else I'll teach you, but if you have campaigns that are losing money, you want to know why, okay? If you're buying on a click basis, if people aren't clicking, that's a problem. You need to work on your creative. If you're getting people to click and no one's converting, that's a problem. You got to figure out how to convert that. So I encourage people to, when you do a buy, and I'll give you some examples and spreadsheets that I give you, make sure it's all lined up. And again, I'm not a math guy. I really don't like math. I'm not an engineer either. But to do this, you gotta get into math. Okay, you can't be a blind. People that lose a lot of money in this space just dump money in. They don't measure anything. And I go, why doesn't this work? Okay, please don't do that. Be someone who measures everything, because when you do, you can isolate where the opportunities are and where the problems are. If you don't, you might as well just be burning money in a fireplace. You know what I mean? So just be one of these people that measure things. Okay. Here's this is going to be kind of off topic, but here's an insider secret that people are doing that are pretty interesting. So they're making interesting associations with their advertising. So what Drew has figured out, and this is why he's buying all the football-related inventory, is guys that like football might also like to play golf. And it might not be an obvious relationship, but it's one that he's made. And he's done it. It might be an obvious relationship. She's laughing. It might be obvious. I don't know. People who are dating. So if you want to know where a lot of volume is going with diet offers, it's dating, right? I mean, it kind of makes sense. People want to go meet someone. They want to look good. They want to lose weight, right? So the more advanced marketers are figuring out unique associations. Drew pointed out something to me that I liked. It was on Facebook, and I think my profile is I enjoy surfing. I live, on a coast and stuff, and so I like to surf from time to time. But I would get back-related ads on Facebook. So somebody, that back guy, is figuring out that people that surf might have back problems. So you, as either an affiliate or you're an advertiser, should think of those associations because they're less obvious. And it's those associations that will make you all your money, okay? Because I guarantee that, people that are making the obvious associations, it's already pretty crowded. Like the golf stuff gets golf product. It's already super crowded. You're gonna pay a lot to be there. But if you're a golf doing like a football offer or something, it's those unique associations that'll make you a ton of money.
Scott, when you refer to inventory,
Okay, I use this without even thinking about it. So inventory, I had a gentleman ask me about inventory. Okay, inventory to me is the sum collection of impressions that go on the internet every day. Okay, so I'm not a very selfish person, but I want to own all that. That's just me, because that's a chance to market to somebody. So if you collectively add up everything going on, all your computers are fired up, you're seeing banners. There was some slides I showed earlier in the last presentation that shows the overall market size. Okay, in the first quarter of 2010, there was 1 trillion ads shown in the U.S. alone. The first quarter, that's inventory. Okay, it's virtual inventory. It's a collection of 1 trillion times I want to be there. Do you know what I mean? I want to interject my ad into that unit. So it's not like I have a collection of pills or boxes or chairs. It isn't that kind of physical inventory, but it's the amount of times I can market to somebody online. So there's a lot of it. There's 1 trillion ads is a lot, and that's just the first quarter. And it's like a hockey. It grows up every single month. And that's why this space is so exciting for everybody, is because it's getting big, much bigger. We're only like I don't know, like the U.S. equivalent. You're on the first base. We play baseball out there, but it's definitely the first inning, okay, for sure, in this whole space. I mean, it's a very, very young industry. It's less than 10 years old. We're in the first inning of the first game of the World Series, because this stuff gets bigger and bigger and bigger. More mind shares coming, more advanced technology. So it really is an exciting. It's why I stay in it, because it's an exciting time to be online, because a lot of new inventory is being created, and a lot of interesting associations are being made, and integration with call centers, and I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff is going on. So that's a bit of sorry, I tend to go off on these little tangents, but so again, I mean, what do you do if you have a bad campaign? And I'll pretty much put money on the fact that you might lose a little money to start. Okay, that's just my guess. Is that unless you're very, very good, you might lose a little bit of money testing this stuff out. It's the investment you got to make to start getting data. So again, but all you want to do is when you get that piece of data, I mean, don't be one of these people that in this setting get all this information and do nothing with it. That's it'd be bad, really bad if you didn't do anything with it. It would just be a waste of everyone's time. So do me a favor and start with Facebook. Start with something, but get data. Get data so that you can understand what areas you can change, okay? So what you want to do is with bad campaigns, you want to figure out how you can isolate certain variables and then change them. So if it means that you have to have better creative, it could mean things like your page time is really low to show up. It could be the landing page is wrong. It could be the wrong affiliate offer. Success does leave clues, and so you just need to learn how to look for them. Scaling a winning campaign. Now, if you get here, you're my new hero, because this is what you want to do, is you want to get winning campaigns. You want to be part of this cool underground army of people that are making, if you probably wouldn't believe me, but making a lot of money doing this type of stuff over and over and over again. Now, there are challenges with scaling campaigns because, as I mentioned in my Microsoft example, I was able to pay it out net 90, so it was nice. I could pull in $3.2 million without ever paying a dime out. I love that scenario. It's much more difficult to do it when you're starting off because it tends to be billed on your credit card. It's right away. You're being billed your credit card every time you spend some money. It adds to it. But there are ways to scale it. The example that I used earlier of the young guy that was doing 2,000 sales scaled just this way. He was able to spend 100 to make 150. He took the 150 and reinvested it. As he grew that business, he got paid quicker from the affiliate networks. He got terms with AOL Ad Sonar. So at some point, he was spending $5K a day. Okay, so he was able to call the rep up, as I told you guys, call the rep up and say, look, I can do this forever and stay at 5K, but I tell you what, if you can give me some terms, in other words, I'll pay you net 30, I'll spend 20K a day. Now you have their attention. So there's creative ways when you find a winning campaign to scale this stuff up. Okay, if you're a product owner, it's a little bit different because someone's making a purchase, you get the money, you get it money. There's elements to each of these things, but it would be my dream if all of you could get to a winning campaign because that's where I think it's a different game. When you start to see the money flowing in, you have really class A problems now. You've got problems of scaling it, and you've got problems with what to do with all this money, which is a good problem. So